can't live with her, Amanda blurted out, her voice sharp with frustration. It's just cultural differences. The housing administrator, Ms. Richardson, raised an eyebrow. Cultural differences? Amanda nodded, her hands fidgeting nervously. It's nothing personal. I just think we'd have different lifestyles. Different backgrounds. I just don't think we'd be a good match. Ms. Richardson sighed, clearly unimpressed. You understand that housing switches are only made in extreme cases. Amanda quickly put on a polite, innocent expression. I just think it would be best for both of us. I mean, wouldn't it be uncomfortable for her too? She didn't say it outright, but she knew exactly what she was doing. An hour later, Amanda was informed that her request had been approved. She smiled in relief. No tension, no awkward moments, just an easier life. Her new roommate was a blonde girl from a nearby town, someone who felt familiar. As for Jasmine, the black girl she had rejected, Amanda didn't think about her again, not even once. College went smoothly. Amanda made friends, went to parties, aced her exams, and secured prestigious internships. She was building the perfect future, everything she had planned since high school. But then, senior year arrived. She was about to apply for her dream job at a top marketing firm, Whitmore and Company. It was competitive, prestigious, and nearly impossible to get into. But Amanda had a Ham's advantage. A professor had recommended her for an interview. They're looking for someone sharp, he had said. You'd be a perfect fit. Amanda was ecstatic. She walked into the towering glass building with confidence. She had prepared for this moment for months. She wore her best blazer, had rehearsed her answers, and knew exactly how to sell herself. But then, she stepped into the interview room and froze. Jasmine was sitting behind the desk. Not just sitting. In charge. Amanda felt her pulse hammer against her ribs. Jasmine looked up. Their eyes met. And for a split second, Amanda saw the flicker of recognition. Then, Jasmine smiled. But it wasn't a friendly smile. It was cool, professional, controlled. Ms. Parker, Jasmine said, gesturing to the seat in front of her. Please, have a seat. Amanda sat down, forcing a nervous smile. She hoped Jasmine didn't remember. Or maybe she never knew. Maybe Jasmine had forgotten all about it. But then Jasmine leaned back in her chair, fingers tapping against the desk, and her next words shattered Amanda's hopes. You don't recognize me, do you? Amanda felt her stomach drop. Patil. No, no, no. Jasmine, she managed, her voice suddenly dry. Wow, it's been years. I had no idea you worked here? Jasmine let out a small chuckle. Work here? Oh no, I don't work here. Amanda frowned. You don't? Jasmine folded her hands together, tilting her head slightly. I run the department. Amanda felt like the floor had been ripped out from under her. The hiring manager, the decision maker, the person who would determine her future. It was Jasmine. Amanda swallowed. That's amazing. Congratulations. You must have worked so hard. Yeah, Jasmine said, her voice even. I did. College was tough, but I had great friends. My roommate, for example, she was awesome. Amanda flinched. She remembers. Jasmine leaned forward. It's funny. When I started here, I made a promise to myself that if I ever got into a position of power, I'd never let BSN stand in the way of hiring good talent. Amanda nodded quickly, heart racing. That's such a great mindset. Jasmine smiled again, but this time there was something sharp behind it. Of course, she continued, I also believe in accountability. Amanda's breath caught in her throat. Jasmine tapped her fingers against the desk, studying her. Then, after a long moment, she spoke again. So tell me, Amanda, why do you think you deserve this job? Amanda's mind raced. She had rehearsed this question 100 times, but now, under Jasmine's piercing gaze, her carefully crafted answers felt hollow. I've worked incredibly hard, she began, her voice trembling slightly. I've always been driven, always pushed myself to be the best. I've taken on leadership roles, excelled in my internships, and Jasmine held up a hand, cutting her off. That's all impressive, but let me ask you something else. Do you think hard work is enough? Or do you think character matters too? Amanda hesitated. I think both are important. Jasmine nodded slowly. Interesting. Because I've found that character often reveals itself in the smallest moments, like how we treat people when we think no one's watching. Amanda felt a cold sweat break out on her forehead. Jasmine leaned back again, her expression unreadable. Do you remember freshman year, when you requested a roommate switch? Amanda's heart sank. I do. Why did you do it? The question hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. Amanda opened her mouth, but no words came out. Jasmine's gaze never wavered. Was it because of my race? Amanda's face burned with shame. No, it wasn't like that. I thought we wouldn't get along. That's all. Jasmine raised an eyebrow. Really? Because I remember it differently. I remember feeling like I wasn't good enough, like I didn't belong. And you know what? That stayed with me for a long time. Amanda looked down at her hands, unable to meet Jasmine's eyes. I'm sorry, she whispered. I didn't mean to hurt you. Jasmine sighed. Maybe you didn't. But actions have consequences, Amanda. And sometimes those consequences come back to us when we least expect them. The room fell silent. Amanda felt like she was drowning in her own guilt. Finally, Jasmine spoke again. Here's the thing. I could hold this against you. I could let my personal feelings dictate this decision. But that's not who I am. I believe in fairness. I believe in giving people a chance to prove themselves. Amanda looked up, a flicker of hope in her eyes. But, Jasmine continued, I also believe in growth. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a chance. Not because you deserve it, but because I want to see if you've learned anything from your past mistakes. Amanda nodded eagerly. Thank you. I won't let you down. Jasmine stood up, signaling the end of the interview. We'll be in touch. As Amanda left the room, she felt a mix of relief and unease. She had been given a second chance, but the weight of her past actions still hung over her. Weeks passed, and Amanda finally received the call. She had gotten the job, but as she sat in her new office, surrounded by the trappings of success, she couldn't shake the feeling that she didn't deserve it. One day she mustered the courage to approach Jasmine. Can we talk? She asked nervously. Jasmine looked up from her desk. Of course. What's on your mind? Amanda took a deep breath. I just wanted to say thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I wanted to apologize again for what I did back then. It was wrong, and I'm truly sorry. Jasmine studied her for a moment, then nodded. Apology accepted. But remember, Amanda, this isn't just about saying sorry. It's about doing better, about being better. Amanda nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. I will. I promise. As time went on, Amanda worked tirelessly to prove herself, not just to Jasmine, but to herself. She became an advocate for diversity and inclusion, using her position to create opportunities for others who had been overlooked or marginalized. And though she never forgot the mistakes she had made, she used it as a reminder to always strive for growth, empathy, and understanding. Because sometimes the hardest lessons are the ones that shape us the most.